Welcome to the Cannabiz Media new add-on user webinar. What we're going to cover today is basically very basic information as far as accessing and using your company's account. Again, this training is more focused for anyone who is an additional add-on user to the parent account. It's obviously a much more in-depth experience when we train the main primary user, but today we're just going to cover the basics that you need to get up and running. So activity dashboard, quick breakdown of this. This is you and your company's activity. All of this is monitored on this screen here. This is a great portal for your managers and bosses to check in on user activity, make sure that everyone's actively using the tool. It's also just a good resource for yourself. Breaking news is going to be the top articles in the industry at the time. Hot leads is going to populate with people from your email campaigns over the last 30 days. This is spread across every campaign in your account, so not necessarily maybe a campaign yourself sent. Over here on the updates, you're going to have all the updates for the accounts that you have favorited, assigned ownership to, or uploaded. Team Insights is just going to show you what you and your other teammates are doing. This is a great tool for managers if you have to manage a sales team. This is a great way to pop in here and make sure that each of your users is actively using the database and not just sitting around. Real briefly, we're going to go into My Account. There's not many settings that you'll use here as an add-on. So what we're going to look at actually is preferences first. If for any reason your name is not spelled correctly, you can change that right down here. Also, go ahead and add your phone number just in case we ever need to contact you or you have a lockout, something weird like that. We'll be able to assist you there. The rest of this, the industry and address, this will have been set by your primary user. Take a quick look at tags. What these are is these are like digital stickers or notes that you can put onto different accounts to denote different statuses. You can see all the examples of the ones I use here. There are 4 automatic ones that are just going to get applied based on email analytic returns. Contacted. That means you've sent this person an email. Opened email. It's exactly the next step. They've opened it. You also have clicked email in case they've engaged with something specifically, and unsubscribed if they do that. I'm going to jump into licenses. Awesome. So here on the license screen, we're checking out a bunch of new records. We can see some little new stickers. These get applied to accounts for the first 2 days that they exist within our database. After that, they do fall off. Just note, if you need to find the latest additions, come over here to the Created section. This will help you find the latest additions to the market. That doesn't necessarily just mean created with us. It means created in general. So depending on the date ranges you use, will help you identify what licenses were issued at what points in time. All right, so the next thing we're going to take a look at here is, again, we can see all these little tags applied to these accounts. That's what I wanted to show you. Basically, if you get really good with your use of tags, guys, you can start applying these to all these different accounts. When you look at your list, it's super easy to see exactly where you left off, because just by looking at these tags, I know everything going on with my accounts here. Over here, we're going to go ahead and take a look at this next section. We're inside of a record, as we call it over here. This is technically a license, but both are proper terms. Over here, you can see we've got all the social media plugs, webhooks, menus, things like that. Affiliations, facility size, incorporation, employee, payroll, accounting, and POS. Last contacted keeps track of the last time that you sent them an email. Down here, you're going to find your license contacts. We try to get as many contacts and as much contact info as possible. It's not always possible because, again, it's personal information. It's up to them if they want to disclose it. But we will get as many forms of it as we can, and, you can always try going through LinkedIn's and things like that. There's multiple options. Related licenses. This is just going to keep track of any and all licensing that this group has had throughout the market and industry. Emails is going to keep track of the campaigns that you have sent out. News is going to cover the state news. Unless there were articles directly about this license, there would be license news here as well. If they get a violation, we would track that. So some more CRM functionality you guys can do inside of the database here. Here on the top right, click the little bust of a person. You can assign yourself or someone else to the account. Check the little star to add them to your favorites section, and your favorites is just a selectable filter on the top of the filters in the license view. You can leave notes inside of your accounts, and this will create a string. You can also set tasks. And basically what a task is, guys, is this is how you would set a reminder for you or one of your coworkers. Pick who it's for, plug in the deets, and save it. What's going to happen is the assignee will receive an email letting them know that this has been scheduled. They will also receive a little pop-up in the database at the time of the event. Next, we're going to go ahead and take a look at deals. And basically what deals is this is how you would do your sales tracking. It's also a great way to figure out your ROI with us at the end of the year. Now, totally up to you and your team, whatever you guys have decided on how you want to handle that. I'm not going to tell you that you should do double work in here with any of your sales practice because I myself hate doing double work, so I'm not going to do it. But if you wanted to, you could do all your sales tracking here. What I would tell you to at least get in the habit of, when you have either won or lost a deal, go ahead and fill one of these out. It's going to populate over here on the left in your deal section. This is a great resource at the end of the year when renewal comes up to see how Cannabiz Media is performing for you. Besides that, we'll go ahead and take a look at the email. Click on an email. You're going to notice you get this little code. This is a masked email address. Multiple reasons we mask emails. 1, it's how we protect our data. 2, it's how we prevent spamming. And 3, how we provide all of you with analytics. So as you go through sending out campaigns or one-off emails, any mix of the both, you're going to get your automatic tags for your emails. On top of that, let's say Tyler here writes back to me. I'm going to come back in here and copy and paste Tyler's information over to my CRM. The reason being is once I have a reply and his email address is his unmasked one, if I'm emailing that outside of this database, I am not using my quota. The easiest way to think about Cannabiz Media, use this tool to pre-qualify and gather contacts. Once you've gathered them, move over to your CRM, close them through there. If you need to add tags to an account, you can use your drop-down menu right here. And if you need to create a new one, you can also type it in. Click on the new version, and that will create the new tag for you. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jump in here and take a look at licenses and building out our list. So to build a license list, you've got all your filters on the left. There's your favorites, who it's assigned to, tags, all that jazz. I'm going to go ahead and build a little demo cannabis list here, guys. We're going to do Cannabiz, USA, cultivators. Next, we're going to look at status because these are super important. Sorry about that. Status. Applied. Applied means just that. The application has been turned in with the state. It's a 50 or 50. If it's going to go forward, backward, we have no idea. Pending. That's the stage between applied and active. In the pending phase, that means a lot of people are doing their purchasing because if you move to pending, you will go active. It's just a matter of time till the state turns it on. Active means exactly that. They can be in business because they have an active license. Inactive and denied. We do not allow you to contact these. So in order to have proper functioning email lists, make sure you put a green check mark on any of these top 3. So that way the support team doesn't ask you to fix it. Inactive means that the license is expired or the state has taken it away from the operator. Denied means denied outright for any reason that they saw fit. So we track them just so that you guys are aware of who's losing licensing. It's a really good thing to be aware of if you're trying to partner with a company and they've lost like 50% of their licenses. It's probably not a good sign. Come on down here, you've got your attributes, companies, so forth, and a bunch of different ancillary complementary filters. We're not going to have data for all of these guys, not for every single thing, but we are getting more of it every day. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at a state here. I think the one we're going to go ahead and do today, yeah, we'll go take a look at Oregon. All right, so for Oregon, let me go ahead and delete this list. We've got 1,100 counts here. We can see all these ones with the little green, with these little gray tags on them that I have for the top 10. Now, let's say we want to remove those guys from the list. So if you want to remove data from a list, all you're going to do is come over here to tags, hold down the mouse click on the tag you don't want, and it's going to remove that from there. So just remember, it's a long mouse click until it turns red. Once you let go, negation filter is applied. Anything with that on it has now been stripped out of the list. Take it back off, all you got to do is click it once, and that'll remove the negation filter, adding that data back in. You're also going to see little check marks next to all these accounts. What these do is they allow you to go ahead and batch tag, so you can apply a tag or remove a tag all at the same time. You can go ahead and assign these to yourself or a different rep, and you could also just throw these directly into an email campaign. To save this as a list, we're going to click on Create a List. From here, we're going to put in all of our identifiers. Cultivate, active pending, and APPL. So if you check this mark right here, guys, it shares your list with everybody on your team. If you do not check this, you are the only person who can do anything with this list. You've also got your daily email alerts. If you have any specific email alerts you want to know about, like status or when we update an email address in your list, go ahead and put check marks on the ones you want to know about. Whenever that update takes place, we'll send you an email letting you know who all on the list was updated. If you don't want alerts, don't check the box. It's that easy. Press save. There we go. And that's how you save a list. Just so everyone knows, your list exists in your drop-down menu here on the top. Next thing we're going to take a look at is going to be companies. So from the companies section, what we've got going on here is basically we aggregate all of the different companies with their total license counts. This is how you find, your bigger operators like Curaleaf, things like that. So let's talk about the difference between a license and a company. With a license, you're contacting the facility, the license holder, and the people that run the facility. When you go through a company, you're contacting the people that run the incorporation itself. That doesn't mean they have anything to do with any of these states as far as running the different locations, but they do run Curaleaf Holdings Incorporated. You're going to find much higher level forms of contact here. It's going to be more, VPs, C-levels, and director level contacts. My personal favorite thing to do with companies, jump into related licenses and press the tally button. This gives me their license count as far as actives go, what concentrations, what activities, what states. I can click on whichever one I want, but I want to target all of their cultivation, so I'm going to pull the 25. Here's the 25 cultivation licenses Curaleaf owns and maintains. From here, guys, you could save it as a list, or if you're an account manager, you can always select all these boxes, tag, assign, or throw them into a new campaign. It would be really easy to throw these into a new campaign, and you don't have to worry. A lot of people would think, why would I want to go ahead and target a list of nothing but Curaleaf through email? Am I just going to send them 150 emails? No. What's going to happen is our email program always automatically dedupes based on unique email addresses. If Joe Schmo shares his email on 10 of these, he's going to get one email, not 10 of them. So it's totally safe to go ahead and just hit a list that's all one company. Next thing we're going to do is look at contacts. This is every contact from the database. So come in here, you can use all your filters. I just want to point out the different filters. You have social attributes, you can pull simply just LinkedIn's and things like that. You can also filter down by level and role with the company. Just note, guys, this is complimentary data. With the level and roles, we have it for about 50% of the contacts. Social attributes, probably around 15%. This filter came out 2 weeks ago, so it's steadily growing, and so are these ones. So as time goes by, you'll see this populate with more and more information. Alrighty, so we're going to jump into news. From the news section, what you've got is basically a live portal of all of the cannabis and hemp news nationwide. Actually, it's international as well. It does do Canada. So from here, what you can do is you can always jump directly into these articles. You could also jump into things like recalls. I always tell people, if you're going to go buy weed in your state, check the recalls before you go out and do it. Make sure you're not buying something gross. Life is too short to buy tainted weed. You can also look at violations. And if your company is on business or hire, you will have access to Insight. Insight is from our data team, and it's going to give you information to help you reach out to specific people at these different licenses, as we have already gathered when and where and what method is the best way to contact them. You can always click on someone's name in an article, take you over to their record in the database. All right, so we're going to take a look at scorecards. So with scorecards, this is going to be cannabis specific right now. I believe in about a month you should see a hemp one coming out. But just to put this in perspective, I'm going to go ahead and jump into California. This is going to break it down by municipality and county. From here, I can filter by the activity type I want to look at. Humboldt's still king out there. Besides that, you could also search specifically within the state. Maybe I want to go ahead and look at San Diego. If I want to go ahead and pull their whole county, I'm going to go ahead and click on this larger number here. Excellent. So here's the cultivators from San Diego. So I know that these are the only 8 cultivation licenses out there. What I could do is save this as a list, or again, I could batch tag it, assign it, or just throw them into a new campaign. So just remember, guys, when you're building a list, it's more to be focused on like a statewide list. Unless you're in scorecards, that's how you're going to be able to break out individual cities and towns, things like that. You know, maybe you're going through building a SoCal list and you have like 3 different cities you want to target. I would create a tag that matches what I'm going to be doing, apply that tag to all of these, go back to the scorecard, find the next place, tag all the cultivators there. Once I'm done with all of that, all I would need to do is simply pull the tag and save it as a list, and I'm ready to go for email. All right, so I think next we're going to jump into our email portal. Excellent. So we're on the email dashboard. Draft a new campaign allows you to start a campaign from the ground up. Browse campaigns is where all your drafts, canceled, and sent campaigns live. See my campaigns. That's the exact same thing. Manage email templates allows you to archive and store your templates, whereas create email template allows you to build those and save them, so that way you can just apply them to emails on the run. Email quota is reflected here. Here's my reset date. Each of you will have a different reset date depending on when your company signed up. Just note that all emails are use it or lose it. If you don't use them by the time the date comes, it will revert back to 0, and there's just no way to get those back. So we don't do any kind of like forwarding credits or anything like that. It is definitely up to your discretion to make sure that they're used before the date. Performance overview, you've got your engagement. This is going to show you how people interacted. Deliveries are going to be when they were dispatched. Best time of day is going to be all the email analytics spread across all of your campaigns for all of time. Basically, it's just going to compile all of your results here so that you can see when you've had your best analytics. We'll cover this real quick too. Down here in the bottom right is the live chat. If you ever need assistance on doing anything in your account, don't email me. Just because I'm doing trainings all day, more than likely you're not going to hear back in any sort of reasonable time. What I would tell you to do, always use the live support chat right here. That's what it's for. So if you reach out to the support team, they can help you with whatever you're working on. You know, if you need to set up a screen share with them to do your, DNS settings, or you need help with different things, use this portal. This is the way you will get all of your assistance. Just so we can go ahead and cover the hours on there, guys. I'm in Mountain Time, so I'm just going to give you the hours from that. We are open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, Mountain Standard Time for live chat. Alrighty. Let's take a look at drafting a new campaign, guys. So when you click on New Campaign, it's going to go ahead and open up this screen right here. From here, we put in our subject line. Remember, this is what the customer sees, so keep it nice. The other thing is, don't do less than 2 words. It has to be 3 words or less, or more when you're doing a subject line. A lot of people don't realize that that's actually very standard with the internet and emailing and all email portals. If it has less than 3 words, you have a high chance of immediately getting spammed. Besides that, keep out drug lingo. The most effective emails just have a good subject line. Use of emojis, use of marijuana, cannabis, THC, CBD, all of that will help get your emails flagged for spam. Google is notorious for trashing those. Campaign name. This is for your internal use. Maybe it's something like December e-blast. Category. Over here, you build your own categories to store your campaigns in. To create a new one, just type in the name and click on the version. Next, we're going to go ahead and click Compose, and what that's going to do is take us over to this screen right here, which is our template screen. From here, you've got COVID-19 and design inspirations. These are going to be available templates for you and your team to use. There's quite a few in here that you guys can use. Just make sure you change out, obviously all the lingo and a bunch of these photos, as they're probably not going to line up with what your business does. They're just general basic email templates. We're going to take a look at the one that I've assembled here. This is a blank template that I just started throwing content onto. Here on the top, got a text block. Just works like any other text block from anything else. Just fill it out. You can do all of your different sizing, font style, everything like that you need. With the HTML block, you can always upload HTML codes. One thing to keep in mind with that is we don't have a builder. If you have HTML elements, you will be 100% responsible for supporting and making sure that those work. So as long as you're able to go back, make adjustments that need to be done in your other portal, and you can, steer the ship yourself here, you're more than welcome to use the HTML block. You can reach out and ask support about it. Since we don't have an editor, we really can't do much for you at that point. So just make sure it's something you really want to use. Besides that, you can always add photos in here by using your photo brick. When you click Browse, it'll take you into your file manager. This is where you upload pictures and documents to use for campaigns. We don't do any data scrubbing, and we don't take anyone's info, so feel free to upload as much as you want. That way it makes your life easier when you're building out your list and your different email campaigns and things like that. Here on the top, search free photos. This allows you to pull royalty-free images. We're going to jump back in here. We've got a couple buttons here. So with the brochure button, what I want to do is go ahead and attach a PDF. So I'm going to click on the link file option right here. And this is going to allow me to now attach my PDF. Now, when someone clicks on that button, it's going to open and download the PDF itself. With Contact Us, this is going to be basically a section where you can have it like hyperlink to something or however you want to do that. You can have it open web page, send email, different options here on the right. What I want to do, though, is with Contact Us, maybe I want to link this to my contacts page, or if anyone uses calendar scheduling apps, this is a great spot for those because they always ask you two important questions. What's your name and what's your email? Here we go. Got your video blocks. This is where you're going to share any kind of product demo videos you have. What you do is copy your share link from Vimeo or YouTube, place that right here, and that will embed the thumbnail like the one below. At that point, if they press the play button, it'll take them to that portal, open it, start playing. Besides that, we've got social media plugs right here. Replace these with your full URL if you'd like them to work. You can also delete ones you don't want and add new ones with your Add New icon. On the bottom, two very important things. Do not delete these. The number one support issue we see is everyone clearing these out and then being confused. What these are for is these help keep you and us compliant. You cannot send an email unless they are both on there. So with that being said, let's delete the customer address. Oh no, we get a warning. The warning is letting you know you're violating Canadian Spam Act. So it has to go back in. To put it back in, guys, all we do is click in a text block, go to Merge Tags, and it's the one on the top that says Required. All of a sudden, the warning disappears, and we're good to go. Unsubscribes. Do not delete these. Do not make them white. Don't do anything sketchy. But you can always make them as small as possible, just like every other large company on the planet. Also, important to note, here on the top right, there's a green button you want to click, and it says Create Campaign. Once you click that, it renames itself to Save Changes. Just remember, if you are working on this, you have to click that button. Otherwise, if you leave this screen, it will delete the entire campaign. Preview is how you're going to see how this looks on your desktop and mobile formats. And if you need to send a test, you can always do that from right here as well. Next, we're going to go ahead and take a look at these recipients. Awesome. So I've got a list pulled up in here. We can see a bunch of these guys. Basically, Add Recipients allows you to manually pull individual records in. Whereas if you go to Import From, you can always import from a list or a tag you've created. Just select the option, and that will import it. Deliverable is what you're charged for on your email quota. And to remove people from the campaign, simply check one of their checkboxes and click Remove, and that will remove them from this email. Note, if it detects any unsubscribes, bounces, or you've done that with these guys, anything that says undeliverable, you won't be charged for on your quota. Next, we're going to go ahead and click Send. From here, you get a few options. You can schedule a delivery for a specific date and time right here. Help me find the best time to send. This is your analytics. Again, you can use this as your scheduler. Besides that, we have send time optimization. So what you do is you pick a rolling period here. What this does is this is now going to email, or not email, sorry, it's going to ping each of the email addresses in your list, and it's going to pull a return analytic. And with that return analytic, it's going to tell us when that person typically opens emails. So once it gets the return analytic of when they open their emails, what it does is then it's going to try and land it in their box at the moment that person typically opens. So for example, if Joe Schmo was in your list and he opens emails at 10 a.m. on Friday, because that's inside of my rolling period, he will get it at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Now, if he opens at 5 p.m. Sunday, well, that's outside of this period. So it's just going to go ahead and send it to him as soon as it gets the returned analytic. So if you're cool with your email taking a few days to dispatch, you will get more opens and clicks. And also, you have up until 5 minutes before the first email dispatches to make any changes and edits or cancel the campaign. Cool. So from there, let's go ahead and take a look at our analytics. All you do is you open up a campaign, and you can see your opens, clicks, unsubscribed, and bounces. You can always expand these cells to get in a little deeper. If you go to comparison, it's going to show you your campaign compared to your last campaigns, compared to Cannabiz Media customer campaigns to the same area and demographic, and your industry type to the same area and demographic. If you go to recipients, from here you'll be able to filter by opens, clicks, mark as spam, unsubscribe. If you go to links, you can see all the clickable items you had and exactly who clicked them. It's going to show you who clicked it, how many times they clicked it, and exactly the last time they clicked it if you highlight the last click. If you need to quickly follow up with these recipients, maybe you want to hit all the clicked people, all you got to do is come up here to engagement, select clicked, select all, and now you can tag, assign, or send them a brand new email campaign from right there. Cool. Besides that, guys, you can also go to Cannabiz down here. This is our licensing blog and podcast. If you want to find out the latest licensing news, check out this blog. These are all wonderful. They're done by our Chief Data Officer and really just help you kind of get a little deeper grasp of how the licensing market operates. And it also kind of gives you the cadence at which different states said they'll release licensing. The next thing is you're going to have the Cannabiz podcast. What's excellent about that is we interview our customers. So if your company already has one, you should probably check it out. If they don't, have them reach out to your sales rep, and your sales rep can help get you on the schedule here. What we do is we interview your company, find out what you're doing throughout the industry. We talk about some licensing news. Then we distribute it, give you some sound bites and things like that to distribute as well. Been doing it about 5 months, and we have a little over 5,000 subscribers. So definitely help get you some attention. It's free. We don't charge anything. It's just a little cross promo. Just let your sales rep know. Also, there is a help center here in the bottom left. If something is unclear or it's the weekend and the staff isn't here and you need some help, be sure to check out the tutorials. We've written one for every single thing you could possibly do. We also have the Email Marketing Resource Center. If you need any assistance with your email campaigns and figuring out how to target cannabis-specific businesses, check out the webinars and tutorials there. Also, if you just need general help, jump into one of our facts. Everything is a step-by-step picture instruction. So be sure to check these out because they're designed to help get you from point A to point B as quick as possible. All right. One other thing on the activity dashboard here, guys, there's a tour button directly below it. If you need a little refresher about what's happening on the left of the screen and on this page, go ahead and take that tour. It'll poke you around real quick. It's a tour I put together, and it takes about 20 seconds, so not much of your time. You can also always jump into your lists and your quotas from right here. Oh, and one last thing I forgot to show you guys. On the email dashboard, if you go to senders, this is each of the users from your account and how many emails each of them have sent. You can separate this by quota, week, month, year, all time, all that. If you're sending out emails and you want to check your own recipients across all your campaigns, all you have to do is open your recipient tab, and this will show you all of your engaged people specific to your address. Excellent. So that sums up what I had for you guys today. You know, the next step is jump into there, start playing around. You can't break anything. If you want to build lists and stuff like that, I would highly suggest it. It's just really going to help you get from point A to point B. Besides that, if you need any assistance or you have any questions at all while you're in here, please use the live chat feature. That's what it's here for. And the team will get back to you in just a couple minutes. And that way, you know, you're no longer sitting there wondering what's going on.